Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to BSV TV. I'm your host Satoshi, and on this show we'll be defending the one and only, truly genuine Bitcoin. The Bitcoin that Satoshi Nakamoto designed in his white paper as a peer-to-peer electronic cash system for the world. Let's get the disclaimers out of the way. So all the statements that you hear on this show are opinion and must only ever be taken as opinion. They are never to be taken as any form of advice, family, financial, sexual or otherwise. And on that note, let's sit back, relax, have some fun and enjoy the show. Get paid for your content in Bitcoin and set your own fee on Streamanity.
Yeah, I'm not surprised I wasn't asked why I'm convinced Craig is Satoshi. I posted on Reddit. He signed in my presence using the private key from block number one, the very first mined Bitcoin block. On a computer that I'm convinced had not been tampered with, on software I'm convinced that had not been tampered with, a message of my choosing.
At InChain, we've just funded a number of universities doing, so far, a test up to 1 gigabyte because it validates what we've already done independently. We've tested up to 380 gigabyte blocks. We've tested 1 million transactions a second and transaction sizes up to 20 megabytes. Super complex scripts. Basically ones that can run operating systems. That's all of global commerce times about 50. On top of that, we can have complex scripts. On top of that, we can scale each of those transactions 1,000 times, which effectively means about 1 billion transactions per second, which means we can then have all derivatives, all complex trades. That means high frequency trading. It means everything that happens globally.
Is the market that effectively BSV is going for, is that global e-commerce, which is currently valued at $29 trillion?
No, that's too small.
Buy and sell Bitcoin instantly at bsvgravity.com. And you can now book and pay for your winter holiday at skibsv.com. Good afternoon, everybody. It looks like we are live at 5, spot on. I've got kilobytes per second in the green, although it keeps flashing red and green, so sorry if there's any sort of like buffering going on at your end. CPU looks good. We are live. Frames dropped. Excellent. Let's get into it. So for any newbies who are listening to my show, the reason we broadcast on Twitch is because YouTube have already kindly taken down 2 of my channels. Then they were preventing me from editing my shows. Then they were deleting episodes and they still won't let me go live, even though I set up another profile. So I thought, you know what, this is absolutely ridiculous. Even though I only used to get like sort of 50 views on each show. Anybody who's talking about the true Bitcoin, can't be having that. Only shitcoins allowed. Ridiculous. So we broadcast on Twitch TV live at 5 every day from wherever I am in the world. Then we upload the trailer onto YouTube and then the full episode up onto Streamanity, where you can set your own fee according to how you judge the quality. Shout out to Shelly Mack in the chat box. Great stuff. So yeah, just quite a few things I want to go over today because honestly, there is never a dull moment in crypto. I find it absolutely hilarious. So let's just start off with the intro and we're going to let these shitcoiners talk for us. Take the floor, Michael Saylor. Here we go.
I like Bitcoin the way it is. In fact, I love Bitcoin the way it is. And the way it's currently constructed, it is possible to put all $250 trillion of monetary energy in big blocks of encrypted energy on the blockchain. Maybe the Bitcoin will be 1 million. You can probably calculate $10 million of Bitcoin or something. Big blocks, $100 million chunks on the blockchain. It'll store all the monetary energy in the world, and it should store it for the next 100 years without losing any of it.
There we go, Michael Saylor. Big blocks on the blockchain. It'll store all the monetary energy in the world, and it should store it for the next 100 years without losing any of it. Not in those small blocks it won't, Michael. Not in small 1 megabyte blocks. Which is the chain you have chosen to invest in. You are gonna be pissed. when you find out, or when you start talking about raising the block size in Blockstream camp. They are literally chased out with pitchforks. How dare you mention big blocks? How dare you mention big blocks on a blockchain? It's blasphemy. He has no idea about the cauldron that he has jumped into. Oh my goodness me. So we're just going to let another shitcoin compadre of his explain what has happened to Bitcoin since Michael has read the white paper and doesn't understand the politics. Take the floor, Mr. PMAC.
Bitcoin is so different now from when Satoshi was here. It's a completely different project. It doesn't matter who Satoshi is anymore. Even if Satoshi came back, I don't think he would just be immediately welcomed as having this God-given right to decide what happens with Bitcoin. I think he would have to earn his right back into the project. Bitcoin is built based on consensus now.
Are you sure about that, Pete? Are you sure? Because it didn't sound like it to me. What's this consensus you're talking about that is based on? Because that's how Bitcoin was designed to be, based on consensus. What consensus are you talking about? Let's talk about the consensus that he is referring to, which is basically what Blockstream decide. And we're going to let the Chief Strategy Officer of Blockstream explain what consensus is in his own words when he says they control it. Consensus is what Blockstream decide. Take the floor, Scamser Mao.
Bitcoin was created by the central bankers that enslave you today. It is their scapegoat.
How do you answer those, Max and Stacey?
I think the evidence is clear that they do not control it. There's 10 years, almost 11 years now of track record.
Yeah,
Blockstream
controls it.
I'm sorry, go ahead. Who does?
Blockstream.
Oh, all right. I was looking at you when I said that. Yeah, I'm a block. I have a spy. I'm one of the spies. No, so this, it's an interesting. There's.
Max literally absolutely flabbergasted. Like, have you ever heard such gibberish talking about spies and spies? He even tells himself to shut up. He's like, no, right, Max, just hold it together. It's interesting. Oh, he would have spat his coffee out if he was drinking any. Oh dear. So anyway, if you want to hear just how badly Blockstream have effed it up, we just gotta listen to Andres Antonopoulos explain what an absolute shit show Corecoin has become. Take the floor, Andres Antonopoulos.
Anonymous asks, I transferred my Bitcoin with too low a fee, and it's been unconfirmed for 10 days. What should I do? The idea that you did a transaction and that transaction had insufficient fee tells me that you do not have a wallet that allows you to increase the fee after a transaction has been broadcast. Wallets that allow you to do that support one of two technologies. One is called replace by fee, which allows you to broadcast a second transaction with increased fee. And the other one is a technology called child pays for parent, which allows you to make another transaction with the change, or even allows the merchant or recipient to make another transaction with the payment amount that is a child transaction that has more fee, and that child fee is enough to pay for the parent fee, causing both the child and the parent to be confirmed simultaneously. All of this is stuff that you can do with a more sophisticated wallet, but it can be confusing, especially if your wallet is not sophisticated. I would say the first transaction you need to make is to a better wallet.
There we go, people. So it looks like we all need sophisticated wallets because we are clearly not sophisticated. Oh, I've never heard such shit in my life. That's hilarious. So we're just now going to listen. So basically, after Blockstream had centralized it and absolutely royally effed it up, another group of developers thought they would royally F it up and make it so that it's not regulatory compliant. So effectively it's illegal, which means transactions cannot be traced because details of the transactions are invalid through being deleted, which means there is no reasonable expectation in trade, and having reasonable expectation in trade is absolutely essential. For example, if you are a company that operates with international commerce and global trade. So we're just going to let one of these shitcoiners tell you how excited he is about the fact that Bcrash, and this is Roger Durr, doesn't comply with regulation and will therefore never be used by international trade and global commerce, of which he is very excited about. Take the floor, Roger Durr.
I have a question here from Satoshi, defender of Bitcoin. He said, if a cryptocurrency is anonymous, like BCH, I don't think BCH is anonymous, but maybe there is something.
Check out cashfusion.com and you combine that with reusable payment codes and you get Bitcoin Cash in the same sort of ballpark of privacy as Monero. It's really awesome. So you can check out Cashfusion. And I always get it wrong. I think it's .com, but it might be .org. So you can check both. Cashfusion.com.
Okay, awesome. So BCH, maybe using Cash Fusion and XMR, if they're anonymous, how can a business get legal recourse against a supplier if the supplier defaults and no proof on the transaction exists because anon?
Yeah, if you want your cryptocurrency to be perfectly legal for everything all the time,
which I do,
just go use your Visa card. Just go use your PayPal.
Oh my God. Like literally, these are the kind of shitcoiners with shit for brains that we are dealing with here in Bitcoin. Have you ever heard such drivel in your entire life? So I just want to go over quickly, just like shitcoins. I'm probably going to spend a little bit more time on this today. Let's just remind ourselves, what is it that shitcoiners say?
Hey, hey, hey.
Hey, hey,
hey. So obviously the news today was OKCoin and some other shitcoin exchange delisting Bitcoin, which is just absolutely hilarious. So I mean, and also I listened to another show earlier on today by like a classic shitcoiner who we just heard there saying hey hey hey, talking to other projects that are just totally centralized. Like I want to play some videos, but we're not going to sort of like do that to the end. So. What I'm going to do is literally, I've decided that I'm going to sort of try and educate and encourage all my listeners here to start producing content of their own, explaining this in their own words, just so that other people get to listen to them. Because like I said, I've no real desire to be famous, and I can't be dealing with just like, just loads and loads of people bombarding me with information, because that just means that it drags the quality of my own information down. So I'd rather just keep it really good quality for everybody who listens to my show, so that then they can broadcast, whatever. If they found something interesting or entertaining or, insightful from my own shows, they can just do like a little brief 10-minute show of their own. That's what I would very much like to encourage everyone. And so what I've actually done this time, with regard to my video, for example, that I put up yesterday, I've done quite well actually. I mean, it's not like I get a lot of views, but it sort of pays for the upload, which is the main thing. So these are my videos. When it comes up, check it out. So look, I had 12 people pay for this video yesterday, and I mean that's like quality information that. I've realised that really, in terms of how you communicate and what you communicate and stuff, to be honest, it's really high level stuff, and I never really appreciated it. Obviously other people when I was doing my job like knew how good I was, but I'd never really sort of like appreciated myself like as to how good I was until I'm sort of like reading this stuff back, and I'm like, actually, that's explained really well. Like I can teach this stuff, I can get it across. So what I've done is with that video on YouTube, I have set a premiere for 7 days later. So I think that's probably what I'm going to do, is with all my videos, obviously edit them so that if there are any video types in there that YouTube will more than happily give me a copyright strike for, I will edit that out. But check this out for number go up. Yeah, so this is yesterday's show premiered, so it's going to be premiered now in 6 days' time. So that's when that will be released on YouTube. But it just means that you guys who get to listen to my show get the quality information first. So you get an opportunity to, make a show on it if you want. We really need some more content creators out there, or not. Well, yeah, content creators, just so that you start attracting crowds for yourself, and that people contact you, asking questions. Because I can only deal with one question at a time, and there are going to be literally the entire world is going to pile in soon. So I would really appreciate it if everybody started producing content and developing a following of their own, so that they can share the burden, as it were, just so that it's not from sort of one single central source. So yeah, I think that'd be great if everybody could do that. I started doing little breaking news broadcasts as well, which are quite good fun, getting quite a few views off those. So that's pretty good. Right, let's have a quick look at these figures before we go into the gossip. Haven't seen these today. We'll just whiz through them. Again, for you guys, you already know about those things. Look at this: Hathor, Tal, Hathor. Look at that. I noticed that Huobi was trying to make a comeback. They'd mined a few blocks, but it looks like they've been shot down again. This is brilliant stuff. Brilliant stuff. Tau with a 10 megabyte block. We're just laughing at Bcrash here. What, 5 megabytes, 5.4? Is that it? Pfft. Michael Saylor, no big blocks on there whatsoever. That's really quite money. That's really quite funny. So again, for your viewing pleasure, it is a hash rate that follows price, follows value, follows utility. When it has utility, it can then create value. When it creates value, it can then develop a price. When it develops a price, it can then be measured against the cost of other goods and services and be used as a medium of exchange. Absolutely critical to understand that point. Corecoin Bcrash will stop overnight. Yeah. Let's get to these figures here. So it is currently 95,000 times cheaper to transact on Bitcoin than Corecoin, and it literally is more than 10 times cheaper than Bcrash, which is hilarious when you consider they're trying to promote themselves as crap, because that's what they are. It's 5.8% more profitable to mine on BTC. Good. Daily average Bitcoin block size by network. Bitcoin winning. What's this? Transactions by network, Bitcoin winning. That was transactions per block size by network, Bitcoin winning. Transactions, Bitcoin winning. Transactions per block, Bitcoin winning. Fees, USD, Bitcoin smashing it. Fees, Satoshis, Bitcoin smashing it. Block reward ratio, again, time, price, value, utility. Laugh mocking at Bcrash there. Blockchain growth. Again, Tal 0.7. They've gone down a little bit. Maybe that's because hash rate has increased overall. Global hash rate 7 days. 3 big boys up there in the last 24 hours. I bet they'll be on Corecoin. Yes, they are. Look at that. All on Corecoin. Interesting. The Tal. That's the big one. That is the poker face. There is no Tal on Corecoin. They know. Bcrash, literally shitcoin enterprises everywhere you look on there. Here we go. This is Bitcoin. So Hathor 31, Tau 30, Huobi relegated into third, but still wanting some, considering they'd been pushed off the chain previously, making a comeback. So I personally think that they're just simply doing. I think just like Hathor is mining Bcrash and was mining Corecoin for nothing but sheer spite, I think that's what Huobi are doing on Bitcoin. I think they're mining it for sheer spite. So hopefully they can just do one and F off soon. F2 Pool and BTC.com showing their hand via BTC again, just hedging their bets because that's CoinEx exchange. Interesting. Okay, let's just jump into the gossip. But first of all, a few important figures that we need to look at. Again, I've gone through this with you guys before. I'm sure you all know it. Good to see whatever this DApp is doing back on there. Look at all these juicy blocks on the blockchain. Again, we know what they're for. But charts, we're just having a quick look at this one here. Look at that. Look at that. So it just tailed off a little bit. But this app, whatever it is here, so you can see it did 85. It's done 85,237. And that was on the date at the top, which was the 14th February, and now it is the 19th of February, and it has done 2,645,091. So effectively, over a period of 5 days, this one app has done 2.5 million transactions in 5 days. So they're testing something. And again, I know it's Router SV that's doing those transactions. But again, it's a private company, so they're not giving any information away. I was looking at trends.cash to try and see who it was that was doing it, because obviously trends.cash shows you apps ranking by performed actions. So it's clearly Router SV. So look at this. Router SV absolutely smashing it. So these are, actions performed. We've got Twitch at 6.7%. TDXP app down in number 8 with 6.4%. But again, obviously, in terms of value, TDXP app are absolutely macking it. RelayX giving them a run for their money. How is that? How is there so much money being spent on RelayX? Is that because there is Router SV using RelayX for something? Maybe. Who knows? But I mean, that's a huge amount of money being spent. It's usually TDXP app, which is I think TDXP is gambling. Really, that's how you would class a TDXP app effectively, because you're not actually using fiat currencies that are government owned. So it's a bit like it's gambling. You don't pay taxes on gambling, because just like you can't claim your losses on gambling. That's it really. It's the casino that pays the taxes on the winnings, because that's their income. But huge movements being done on the Bitcoin blockchain there. So just shouting out here as to we've got a big block test coming on March 13th, which is where I saw this. Where was it? Here we go. Check it out. So they said Big Block has said we will target the current. Oh, here it is. That's the one. We're now targeting Saturday, March 13th for BSV, a mainnet record block attempt. We encourage you to participate too for a memorable 24 hours of record breaking. 24 hours. So again, in terms of record breaking, if you just simply go on to a scaling test network, they've got the current records there. But again, I think that's 369 megabytes on mainnet. That'll be over sort of like 4,000 transactions per second on mainnet. And then you can, in the yellow is the scaling test network. So that's going to be a pretty huge. And they've in a reply here they said we're working to provide a whole host of carbon. That wasn't what I wanted to look at. What was it? Here we go. We'll be targeting the current records first, then increment beyond a target of 1 gigabyte blocks, which will include minor participation by raising max block size soft limits temporarily. This is a whole BSV Society project and should be fun too. So big block testers. Again, they are the guys who run the scaling test network. So this is going to be huge. Like on the mainnet, like absolutely hilarious. In terms of like seeing the look on Shitcoiners' faces when it happens. Honestly, I would love to be a fly on the wall. Oh dear. So just a few announcements on today's show, just keeping up to date with what is going on. First of all, there's this. CalvinAir.com has said, are you ready to change the world? Watch this space on February 24th. Is this going to be is this going to be Craig announcing that he is Satoshi Nakamoto? Who knows? So it's really important that people understand why Craig hasn't and won't show proof of possession outside of court and without evidence to back it up. So you've got to understand that Bitcoin is going up against the most powerful, corrupt, and invasive organization in the world. So I think it's probably worth reminding ourselves of the quote by, can't remember his name, the quote by President Woodrow Wilson. I'm just going to send that to myself. Just going to send myself that image to me quickly on Twitter. Here we go. I'm going to find images in my phone. Screenshots. Should be able to get to this one pretty quick. Got it. There we go. Sending. It should be there now. So let's just quickly have a look at that in messages. We'll read through this statement just to remind yourselves. Here we go. This was the one. So remember, President Woodrow Wilson said this. He said, some of the biggest men in the United States in the field of commerce and manufacture are afraid of somebody, are afraid of something. They know that there is a power somewhere so organized, so subtle, so watchful, so interlocked, so complete, so pervasive, that they had better not speak above their breath when they speak in condemnation of it. So, I mean, this is the power that we're dealing with. It's the power that we're able to literally fool the world, to demolish World Trade Center 1 and 2 and 7 at the same time, invade an entire country. And what's all this about, do not fire until fired upon? They didn't really give a monkeys, did they? They just went in and, blew up Iraq and got the people on their side by, explaining all the evils of Islam and stuff like that. So, yeah, don't worry about wiping them out. They're a bunch of, misogynistic, sexist, evil people. Is the narrative they span. But I mean, this is what we are up against. It's this criminal organization that prints the money flows into society, and then just simply ends up in the people, in the pockets of the people who create large businesses. So you've basically got those who print the money in bed with those who collect the money. It's like, when you think about it, it is absolutely insane. Like, absolutely insane. And this is what we're up against. So these people, again, they are desperate for Craig to sign, because if he shows proof of possession, when they know that he has officially got possession of it, they can then start spinning a political narrative on that fact, because he's proved that he has got possession. Whereas if he's in a court of law and he proves, right, yes, I do have possession, and the reason I've got possession is because I own them, and I own them through evidence here, XYZ, that you can see, whatever it is, the samples that you should give in a courtroom, exhibit A, B, and C, I have this, I am Satoshi Nakamoto. This political spin narrative machine can't do jack shit. And if they do something, it is contempt of court, of which you can now be imprisoned for up to 2 years. It is a criminal offence to show contempt of court. So anybody who is trying to pressure Craig into show proof of possession, on social media, is a blockstream shill. So literally just be cautious of them and just block them immediately. That's what I do. They're like, oh yeah, he can just prove it, and that's all he needs to do. He should do it. The reason he hasn't done it is because he's a scammer and blah, and he's a scammer and he's a fraud and he's a scammer and he's a fraud. All that absolute bullshit. They're just trying to goad him. He knows exactly what they are trying to do. They're like, oh yeah, so I show you that I've got these, so you can make up some bullshit story about how I got them. No, I'm going to prove to you that I've got them, and I'm going to prove as evidence why I've got them, because I am Satoshi Nakamoto. And shitcoiners, again, I mean, this is absolutely hilarious. We have seen today that is it OKX exchange has just banned Bitcoin. I mean, this is just absolutely hilarious. I've not read this blog yet, but she's trying to explain it, so I'm going to read this and then explain why she's full of absolute shit. Here we go. Let's see this. Hopefully this will load. Look at this. I think I'm getting a Hong Fang. Our commitment to protecting Bitcoin from CEO Hong Fang. Really? I just can't wait to see that smile wiped off her face. Honestly, can you imagine? It'd be hilarious. And they've just announced this today. So they said protecting Bitcoin, which they really mean is protecting shitcoin, while we're removing BCH and Bitcoin from OKX. Clever, clever. OKX CEO Hong Fang on the history of Bitcoin and why we've made the difficult decision to suspend trading of 2 BTC forks. I'm actually quite looking forward to hearing this shit. This is going to be so funny. Earlier today, we announced that trading of BSV and BCH, among several other crypto assets, will be suspended on OKCoin starting March 1st, 2021. At OKCoin, we periodically review the digital assets listed on our platform to ensure that their quality continues to meet our standards. What standards are they? Shitcoin standards. In addition to market performance, we take a variety of factors into consideration during such reviews, including ecosystem, development, and ethos, network stability, quality, and commitment of the developer community, liquidity, and ethical or reputational red flags. Literally, they're like trying to cover all angles. This is hilarious. When an asset fails our periodic review, we may choose to remove it from trading on our platform. Today's announcement was the result of our most recent asset review, and who reviewed it? A shitcoiner. However, in the spirit of transparency, there is some unique history and context specific to our decision to remove BSV and BCH, which we'd like to share with the community. Alright, can't wait to hear this shit. Bitcoin and the birth of crypto. Let's see how this is, let's see what their interpretation is. More than a year ago, we started to reflect on the role of OKCoin should play in the crypto ecosystem. Like many other players in the crypto space, the very creation of OKCoin in 2013 was inspired by Satoshi Nakamoto's Bitcoin white paper and the ensuing emergence of a crypto industry. Because of Bitcoin, for the first time in human history, value can be encrypted, stored, and freely transmitted without any intermediary in a global peer-to-peer network. Monetary discipline and transparency are coded and solidified by growing community consensus, securing by energy in a decentralized network and made available to anyone, anywhere via open source software. Indeed, Bitcoin has introduced a new era of digital hard money. Individual responsibility, freedom, and value is honored and celebrated. It ignites many people's passion for crypto, ours included. Bitcoin is also an asset that serves as the foundation layer of the crypto markets. You mean they're all pegged to them? As an exchange that has been part of the market infrastructure since the early days of Bitcoin, we feel compelled to refresh and stay true to our conviction in Bitcoin. Here's a brief history of how we've supported and continue to support the Bitcoin ecosystem. In 2019, we began with a series of open source developer grants totaling $500,000 so far to support Bitcoin Core, developers and projects that make Bitcoin stronger. We place a special focus on improving protocol security and reliability, increasing utility for Bitcoin adoption, and growing the developer ecosystem. In December 2020, we proudly became the first US regulated exchange to list Stacks 2.0, Stacks Coin, a shitcoin, and enable stacking with BTC rewards. In doing so, we're showing our support for the Stacks community, whose vision is to build a smart contract layer on top of Bitcoin. That'll be a second layer. In January 2021, we announced plans to integrate the Bitcoin Lightning Network, oh my god, on OKCoin in Q1 to facilitate smaller BTC transactions at significantly lower fees. Not going to be lower than Bitcoin though, are they? More importantly, we want to do what we can to help grow the Lightning Network, bastards, which we believe will be critical to further Bitcoin adoption. Do you know that the Lightning Network is created by Blockstream, you absolute fools? Being a constructive contributor to the Bitcoin ecosystem, our standing commitment to our industry, and we have no intention of stopping here. Bitcoin and its hard forks. Alright, let's hear this shit, shall we? Two people who have been around long enough or have studied the Bitcoin or studied the history of Bitcoin know that back in 2017 and 2018, there were heated community debates around what Bitcoin was created for and how to address the scalability constraint in its protocol. During those debates, Bcrash, BCH, and Bitcoin, BSV, went on a different path towards scaling, went on the scaling path that Satoshi Nakamoto designed, you fools. Larger block size versus layer 2 solutions, and hard forked out of Corecoin. Before digging deeper into our decision around Bcrash and Bitcoin, I want to clarify a few points. As a crypto exchange, a shitcoin a bucket shop exchange, we've always believed in the following. Community members have the freedom to choose their own path based on their philosophical and technical beliefs. People can agree to disagree. Bitcoin would not have been created if the early adopters were not open-minded enough to disagree with the norm. There is significant value in honouring and celebrating differences as they bring about innovation and encourage the pursuit of truth. What I would see smells of absolute bullshit. Absolute bullshit. I'm boiling already. My blood's boiling. Regardless of our own view of certain assets, we do not see ourselves as a position to pick the winning horse of our clients. Instead, free market and free market alone should have the power and ability to decide the winners. As a platform, we just do everything we can to foster free markets. Yeah, whatever. Number go up, bullshit, as you'd expect from a shitcoin exchange. That's basically what we've done with Bitcoin, well that's Corecoin and its hard forks. We choose to be a neutral platform when it comes to trading the native assets of these blockchains. Corecoin, Bitcoin and Bcrash have always been available on our platform. Our customers can choose for themselves whether to put where to put their money. It's been interesting to observe how people have voted with their own money. Well, yeah, because they've just been misled. Really easy to mislead shitcoiners with shit for brains. Over the last 3 years, today BTC's market cap has grown to almost 1 trillion. See, it's all about number go up with these douchebags. All about number go up. Overtaking top public companies like Visa and Facebook in size. Bcrash and Bitcoin, in contrast, are valued at respectively 1.5% and 0.5% of Corecoin. At this point, it seems that the markets have cast their vote on what Corecoin was built for. Oh dear, oh dear. I mean, literally, like I said, I would love to be a fly on the wall. I would love to be a fly on the wall just to see their faces. The dilemma. In spite of Corecoin's market dominance, we wouldn't have changed our neutral practice with Bitcoin and Bcrash if it were not for what happened on Jan 21st, 2021. What's this? When the news hit that Craig Wright, the infamous self-proclaimed creator of Bitcoin and BSV supporter, was taking actions to enforce copyright claims on the Bitcoin white paper. We found ourselves facing a very uncomfortable dilemma. It's really not hard to figure out that Craig is Satoshi. Like, honestly, when you really think about it and join the dots, it is so obvious. Like I said, the reason you can tell that Craig is Satoshi because he's the only one in the room not talking absolute bollocks about Bitcoin. Literally, he is the only one that has defended the Bitcoin protocol absolutely vigorously without compromise. I mean, literally, have you ever seen Lightning Network in the white paper? Or have you heard like seg shit, you know, and restricting the block size and replaced by fee and child pays for parent? Unbelievable bollocks. I'm livid. On the one hand, we continue to believe that we should let our customers make their own decisions on whether or not they should invest in certain crypto assets. That belief was reinforced when we saw how people reacted to Robinhood's suspension of GameStop stock and several other stocks on its platform with little communication in advance. What, so you just thought you'd follow suit and delist Bitcoin and Bcrash, would you? On the other hand, we feel very disturbed by the copyright claim and threat of legal actions that Craig Wright is waging against the open source community. It's not open source. Like Blockstream completely control it, as their chief strategy officer admitted. Right to recent lawsuits against websites hosting the Bitcoin white paper are part of a long historical chain of problematic legal actions surrounding this entirely unproven claim to be the creator of the original cryptocurrency. Oh, can you imagine saying this like 5 days before the PMAC case is due to conclude? Oh, egg on the face. Well, you know, maybe depending on what that big announcement is. Bitcoin has never been owned or controlled by any individual or entity. What, other than Blockstream? Nor should it ever be. Well, I think if Blockstream think they control it. Bitcoin was created by the pseudonymous Satoshi Nakamoto. Regardless of who Satoshi Nakamoto is, the ethos of open source, decentralized, and community-driven consensus building runs deep in Bitcoin's DNA. To challenge that ethos, to challenge the very foundation of what Bitcoin stands for. Well, it doesn't stand for core coin, does it? Because Blockstream completely control it, as we have heard from Samson Mao. Even if Riot doesn't control or own the entire BSV community, oh my, give me a break. He is a very significant and influential stakeholder there. Yeah, but he wasn't for over 10 years. If we continue to allow trading of BSV on our platform, we run the risk of implicitly supporting such an attack on open source nature of Bitcoin, which is highly destructive to the Bitcoin ecosystem and the crypto ecosystem as a whole. Oh my god, I mean, how can you be so effing dumb when you've got so much money on the line? The string of events around the copyright to Bitcoin has also highlights the challenging the challenge of branding conflicts between Bitcoin and its derivatives. Bitcoin is an open software. To the best of our knowledge, there are roughly 102 crypto assets that emerged as a fork of Bitcoin. Yeah, CSW owns all of them. Some of these assets forked Bitcoin's source code and have unique names and logos, e.g. Litecoin. Alright, so they didn't actually fork the chain, they forked the code. Yeah, and let's just have it, while we're here, let's just have a listen to the clip that we've got from Charlie. These are classic. This is what Charlie Lee thinks of his own creation, which was Litecoin, and Mike Novogratz describing what he did. Take the floor, Charlie Lee. Here we go.
You created Litecoin, right? So this has to be something like you're incredibly passionate about.
Yeah, as most of you probably know, I kind of created it just for fun, right? I didn't really expect it to become anything.
And I just remember the guy that founded Litecoin sold it all on the top. And I was like, dude, not great as the founder to unload everything literally on the high tick. Great as a speculator, but not as a community builder.
Yeah, great as a shitcoiner, shitting on other people. Unbelievable. A few other chose to hard fork and misuse Bitcoin's brand to promote themselves as a true Bitcoin, e.g. BSV. Well, it's not the true Bitcoin, is it? It's genuine Bitcoin, because the other shitcoins are fake. I was going to drop the F-bomb there, but want to keep it nice for the trailers. This branding decision is, in hindsight, a questionable path forward, because you are a shitcoiner with shit for brains. 2020 was the year when we welcomed a new wave of investors into crypto. Most of them are embracing crypto because of their interest in Bitcoin. Such branding ambiguity for Bitcoin can be very misleading to retail investors. Well, exactly. As we at OKCoin continue to build a global gateway to crypto, we have to ask ourselves, how can we play a responsible role in promoting awareness and protecting new entrants from unintentional trades? Or unintentional trades, yeah. Well, they think they're buying Bitcoin when they're buying Corecoin. It's the biggest scam in history. Unbelievable. I mean, how can it, like, seg shit is in front of their faces. It's not even they're denying what it is. They've called it segregated witness, which is segregating the signatures on the chain, and the witness is there to oversee everything. Yeah, that's the whole point, to hold everybody accountable so that no one can control it. Like, seriously, and like I said, restricting the block size as well means that there is going to be less market for miners to compete for if number doesn't go up. So it's destroying Bitcoin. It's really not hard to figure out. God. After reflecting on all of these questions, we knew we had to make a choice To be honest, it's a hard choice for us. No, because your shitcoin is a shit for brain, should be an easy one. Which has led to a lot of earnest internal debate. In either direction, we run the risk of violating certain principles we've been following since our inception. But unfortunately, inaction is action. But unfortunately, inaction is action. We are not a decentralized platform where the course of action can be ultimately reflected in all actions taken by everyone over time. The best we can do is take a stand to protect the original ethos of Bitcoin. What? SegWit? And to protect our customers. What? From Blockstream? Not quite. You're just like literally gifting Blockstream the customers on a plate. So here we are with our decision to remove a BSV, Bitcoin, and Bcrash from trading on our platform in an effort to firmly stand up to the shared spirit, which is controlled by Blockstream, of the open source community that is controlled by Blockstream, support core coin ecosystem, and protect and basically scam new investors. Oh dear. To be clear, we're not against hard forks in general. Well, you should be. Because Coolcoin is a hard fork. And we see the value that some of these networks are creating. We are also not against the communities that believe in the utility of these tokens. We are very much aware that some members of our BSV and BCH communities are actively building use cases that they believe will benefit people beyond their own community. We fully respect that people should be able to agree to disagree. Really? Okay, well, let's just have a quick look at CoinDAS then in terms of the utility that they are referring to here. Transactions. Oh, well, it looks like Bitcoin has got more transactions than anybody else. 35.1% in comparison to 32 and 32. Even Bcrash has got more transactions than Coolcoin. That's hilarious. And look at the block size, which is data, 43.5%. And look at the block sizes. Look, 10 megabyte block compared to 1 megabyte block restriction. It is so blatantly obvious that Coolcoin and Bcrash are such pieces of shit. Oh dear. Oh dear. We're just having a hard time ignoring the malicious misinformation, really, what the Blockstream have given out. War waged by Craig Wright and other high-profile members of these communities. Nor can we gracefully give investors access to Bitcoin or Bcrash while realizing that some may feel tricked or confused by the branding ambiguity between these assets and Bitcoin. We view both factors as very destructive to Coolcoin. Oh dear, good. Coolcoin needs to just do one. The cornerstone layer of our industry. Oh, is that what they think? Dear, dear. I mean, can you imagine the cognitive dissonance that literally is going to close in on them, when they suddenly realize. Before we have a better way to both separate Bitcoin from rights attack on the open source community. What, like Bitcoin, like Blockstream don't control it? They've just admitted that they do. And to differentiate these two derivative protocols, derogatory terms there, from the original Bitcoin, which is BSV, we feel more comfortable with removing them. Oh my god. Should BSV and Bcrash communities listen to the broader market? Never gonna happen, because the broader market is shitcoins, basically backed by this power that Woodrow Wilson described in his statement there. And choose to rebrand away from Bitcoin? Nope. Follow the white paper. Let's just bring this white paper up, shall we? Have this image here, 2 hands, check it out. There we go. Let's just remind ourselves. Does it say a peer-to-peer piece of electronic digital dog shit? No, it doesn't. Does it say like peer-to-peer, digital gold? Or as Roger Ver would say, it's peer-to-peer cash. Well, it's commodity money, because Roger's version of cash is bullshit. It's utter dog shit. Cash is the most liquid form of money. Money has to be commodity money. As JP Morgan said, gold is money, everything else is credit. Or as I like to say, Bitcoin is BSV, everything else is BS. Honestly, these people are, they should be smarter than if they're going to, make stupid decisions like this. Before we have a better way to both separate BSV from rights attack on the open source community to differentiate these two derivative protocols from the original Bitcoin platform, we feel more comfortable with removing them. Should the BSV and BCH communities listen to the broader market? Blah, blah, blah. And we'll be happy to revisit our decision and change our stance on these assets. It's Cool Coin that's going to have to change, love. Oh dear. We are thankful to many community members who have reached out to us, sharing their concerns. As explained above, this was not an easy decision, but we followed our heart and strived to do the right thing. We firmly believe that as we continue to build a more open and inclusive new system, it is important to remember that has brought us together here in the first place. Looking ahead, we will continue to invest in the Bitcoin ecosystem and stand up in support of the open source and decentralized ethos of our community. Looking forward to some more constructive and open discussions in 2021. I mean, to be honest with you, this has actually done BSV holders a favor. So if these BSV holders were literally holding their BSV on this exchange will go bust. They will not have enough liquidity to deal with everybody wanting to cash out of shitcoin. You know, literally, I would not be touching an exchange with a barge pole. Literally, you know, too risky. You know, and then, you know, it's not a speculative pump and dump asset. It is a commodity that gives us sovereignty over our data. That is why you should be using it and accumulating it and using it as a medium of exchange, because it is commoditized data sovereignty. You know, and that's basically what cash is. But again, Roger has kind of like hijacked that cash narrative, and people are too stupid to figure out that he's an idiot. In a nutshell. So anyway, I've been going for 50 minutes on this one. There was another article that I wanted to go over quickly, which was just again the EC, the Securities and Exchange, the SEC, came knocking on one of these other bullshit projects. This was the one. Check it out. So this guy said the SEC calls DeFi money market shuts down. It begins. And this was just yesterday. DeFi money market, or DMM, was a decentralized, well, it can't be that decentralized if they just shut it down, can it? Protocol, much like any other. You could build complicated trades that ran on the Ethereum blockchain and yield farm by lending your coins as M tokens to earn DMG tokens. The DeFi money market launched on March 2020 with an investment from Tim Draper. Massive fail. They ran an ICO token offering. They don't even seem to realize that an ICO is an absolute effing scam. The DeFi money market was going great guns through late 2020 because it was full of shitcoins, but it inexplicably shut down on the 5th of February with an announcement on Twitter. So this was the announcer saying, as a result of regulatory inquiries, who basically found out that we were a bunch of scamming sods, DMM is ceasing operations. M tokens can be redeemed with interest accrued to date through the following link. So this was followed with an announcement on the official DeFi money market Telegram group saying, DMM is ceasing operations. M tokens can be redeemed. Yeah, but we just read that bit. As a result of regulatory inquiries, DMM is shutting down effectively immediately, blah, blah, blah. Capital and the interest are currently available to fund the redemption of all our outstanding M tokens plus accrued interest. Please redeem your M tokens as soon as possible. Users who purchase NFTs will get their staked DMG transferred back to them. You know, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, absolute bullshit. You know, they're absolute scam jobs, and they haven't figured it out. So I just want to touch quickly on, yes, let's have this lovely picture up here, the big announcement. So again, for my listeners on this show, and again, there was a video that I wanted to go through on that shitcoin show called Hard Forking, where they're just literally promoting shitcoins left, right, and center. The fundamental question is, to any project, has that project solved the paradox of the centralized starting point? If they haven't, it's worth absolutely jack shit. Literally jack shit. Because money cannot be controlled by anybody. So therefore, Craig realized that in order to make something neutral, you would have to dilute it over a substantial period of time, which is what proof of work does. But it was also really important that he didn't have any influence over the neutral growth of the network, because that would have discredited the fundamental value. Because he would have had an influence over the growth of it, just like Charlie Lee influenced the growth of his network. You can't say how he influenced it. All you know is that he did, because he created it. Whereas Satoshi Nakamoto had no influence over the growth of the network, which means you cannot discredit it. So this is why he first of all released the white paper on October the 31st, 2008, left it 2 months to give anyone and everybody an equal opportunity to start the network themselves, a reasonable amount of time to do so, then started it under a pseudonym. But the pseudonym also decentralized the starting point, because the paper was released in English to the Western world, but the pseudonym was Japanese. So, what do you have an issue with? Do you have an issue with the fact that it's English, or do you have an issue with the fact that, it's Japanese? That you split the starting of the network into as many pieces as you can, which is the paper and the author. And again, Japan being completely the opposite side of the world to the Western world, which means that it was as far away as possible, distancing himself from it. Japan is also, politically neutral, technologically advanced, and highly developed, so that people weren't questioning his credibility as an author. And then he literally left the project, stepped away from it for 10 years, 10 years, 362 days, but at the same time set up the Tulip Trust as an insurance policy. Because he knew that if the program was centrally controlled, it would have no fundamental value, because somebody would have created it and controlled it. So he knew that these scumbags were going to tamper with the protocol and try and centralize it and take control of it for themselves. So this is why he set up the Tulip Trust as an insurance policy to absolutely wipe these scumbag crime coins, shitcoins off the face of the planet. Now, personally, I hope that he doesn't actually have to do that anymore, because really we need to be able to outcompete them. And the way you outcompete them is by adding credibility. If you just simply go in and destroy it, you're going to upset a lot of people. Whereas if the bubble bursts because suddenly these people realize that, hold on a minute, Bitcoin is BSV, he's genuinely Satoshi Nakamoto, we should have listened to him, oh shit, oh my god, look at the scaling on the network, look at the volume of transactions per second it can do, look at the block sizes that it's capable of creating, look at the utility that it's got, we can save money with that. All this. So it's literally, like I said, it's understanding that paradox. If a project has not solved the paradox of the centralized starting point, which requires competition, which requires a chain of signatures so that everybody is accountable, which requires a locked protocol so it's permissionless and anyone and everyone can build, infinite scale, proof of work competition between those who maintain and economically sustain the network, and fixed supply. It's all these things. So these are the things, the concepts that I would very much like my listeners to be able to explain themselves coherently, on their own shows. Because as soon as you realize this, you can literally go, let's say as a topic of conversation, you can choose any project and literally go through it. Is there competition in the system? No, there isn't. Oh, it's proof of work. Oh, it's pre-mined. Oh, it's a bullshit crime. You can explain it. There is no competition between the stakeholders. Therefore, it's the stakeholders who actually centrally control the network. It's centrally controlled by the stakeholders because there's no competition between them, which means you get collusion. So yeah, there's so much to go through. There's an endless topics to discover, and I would very much like people to start building a following and start producing their own content and explaining this to as many people as possible, because all those 10,000 people that have genuinely tried to follow me, I have blocked because they're shitcoiners. Again, they might have repented, which is maybe why they were trying to follow me. But the fact is they're blocked, so they can't see anything now. So that's a market of 10,000 people. 10,000 people who are looking for the information that I've got, that all of my listeners can start dishing out and explaining it to them. They may have repented by now, but the fact is, I've got I love, my listeners, people who comment on my show. It's like I'd much rather, I am a huge fan of developing personal relationships so I can get to know people. It's lonely at the top. If you become a celebrity, everybody knows you, but you don't know anybody. That's why I don't want to be a celebrity. I want to get to know the people that I've sort of developed over time with and sort of been on this journey with. So you can laugh. You've got things in common. So there's an untapped market there newbies that want to know these things and understand more. I mean, can you imagine the influx? If Craig actually does prove possession and the fact that he's Satoshi Nakamoto on February 24th. I mean, again, just going to be absolutely massive. Right, peeps, I hope you enjoyed the show. It is time for Ding a Dong. Get those questions in there. Again, I mean, like I said, I've been going for an hour. Like 10 minutes just flies by. Shout out to everybody in the chat box. Shelly Mac, Diddy Weldon, having a nice little chin wag there. Neezy, we got Costa Cats, that's a new one. Tommy Sparks in there. All right, Sergeant Sparks, good to see you. Richie Rich, Connor G, J Paps from Canada, excellent. Anybody else in there? What's this? This .NET Debug. Who's that? Is that a new one? I have to put your hand caches and paymails in there. Look, I've been going for exactly an hour and getting better at these shows, keeping them short. Let's do this. Let's get it on, people. It is time to ding a dong. Starting from the bottom, we have got Shelly Mac. Here we go. Here we go. Registering, swiping to send, on the way to you. Here we go. Got it. Caught that. Diddy, not Duddy. This one's for you. Here we go. Swiping to send, on the way. Here we go. JPaps, I can see you on next. Here we go. JP. That's the one. Swiping to send, on the way. Sergeant Sparks, I think you'll have to put yours in there. Not sure if I've got it. Neezy, this one's yours. There we go, Neezy. Swiping to send, on the way. Costa Cats, put yours in there. Richie Rich. Here we go, RICH. Richie Rich. Swiping to send, on the way. Here we go. Connor G. Connor, Sarah Connors, I'll be back. There we go, Connor G. Swiping to send, on the way to you. Tommy Sparks, actually, I bet you're in there. You have to be in there, surely. Let me see, I'm sure I've got it. Somebody told me yours. Is it there? Just going through. Is it? Tommy. Hey, I don't think I've got yours in there. No way. It's not coming up. Is it Tommy Sparks 71? Tommy Sparks 71. Definitely should have just got Tommy. Hey, that's registered. Here we go. Oh, there we are. I'm adding it to my list now. Tommy Sparks 71. Add. There we go. That's you, Tommy. I can see you and your profile picture. Great stuff. Swiping to send, on the way. There we go. And we're at the top. Right, scroll down to the bottom. Cheers, Tommy. Nice one. Smoker Pipe is a Bugatti. It's to his homie. All right, here we go. Is it Bugatti? Double T-I. Oh, put a H in there. Fat fingers. This is hand cash. Bugatti. Got it. Finally. Swiping to send. There we go. .NET Debug. Bitcoin SV1 at moneybutton.com. I'm not typing that in, mate. Put your handle in there. Your hand cash handle. God, we got like another Richie Rich wanting me to type in Leech 14028178964ABCDEFG. Bollocks. That's gonna have to wait. Same with you, Costa Cats. Hand cash handles. Good grief. It takes ages to load paymails. I'm trying to do this show, Time is of the essence. Next time. Right then, people. So I hope you enjoyed the show. And please consider doing your own show if you want help setting up OBS. And maybe you want help as a guest or a host. Please just have a go. Give a show a go. And as ever, be aware, take care, stay safe out there. Joy given. Same time tomorrow. Catch you guys later. Get your tweet etched on Twitch, forever on the Bitcoin blockchain. Do it today at www.jointwitch.com. buybsv.live, the best place to buy Bitcoin SV online.